Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. Hope you had a great day overall, man. I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We're going to be speaking about Xander Zayas, according to Chris Algieri, possibly outboxing Jaron Ennis. We're going to be speaking about the dilemma that's going on between Claressa Shields and Alycia Baumgardner. Then, of course, we're going to get into some open boxing topics. But before we get into the building, if y'all could please hit the like button on the way in. Before we get into these conversations, please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? We on the road to 4K. We went into the 3,400 mark. Looking to crack that 3,500 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. What's going on, y'all? I'm getting a real late dinner right now, man. I'm getting the air fryer popping. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't able to eat. You know what I mean? I fed my son, I bathed my son, I put him to sleep, and you know what I'm saying? I just got lost in the time, obviously. I let my son have a little bit of fun before he went to bed. So now I'm cooking up, I'm gonna eat a little, one of them little frozen pizzas, and we're gonna get this show on the road. You feel what I'm saying? We're gonna get the show on the road as we eat, you know what I mean? Ain't nothing to multitask. Shout out to everybody that's in the building so far. If y'all can go ahead and hit the like button. Shout out to my boy Slime in the building. What up? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy, Mr. Big Play Bray. What up? What's going on? Talk to me, man. How we feeling, man? What's going on in y'all lives? Marissa Alvarez, always in the building, showing love. Shout out to the little sis. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the little sis. My boy Sam said, show the brother Mark some love if you appreciate the boxing talk. Absolutely, man. You know what I mean? A little bit of love could take us a very long way, man. We ain't even scratched the surface of what we intend on doing in the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? We got some big things in the works, man. Had some good conversations with some good people. So, we gonna get this shit popping, man. We gonna step the content up eventually. You know what I mean? I gotta get some things squared away. I'm targeting the summer of this year to really start picking things up on the channel. And, eventually, I want to do this full time. You know what I'm saying? Boxing full time. Leaving all the other stuff alone that I venture off to in the past few years and just solely devoting myself to boxing, podcasting, media, all that good stuff, man. That's a long-term goal of mine. So I'm looking forward to accomplishing that while you guys show love. So, you know what I mean? We're going to do it. Oh, man, take a look at that. Take a look at that. One thing about Mark, man, he a beast with that motherfucking air fryer. You hear? Look at that. Oh, my God. Look at that. Oh, my God. Ah. Come on, man. Don't nobody be knowing the right temperatures and the right times to be cooking things. You know what I'm saying? Niggas don't get that air fryer popping like me. That's why I put on all this weight, champ. That's why I put on all this weight. You know what I mean? Eating good. You feel me? Shit. When my health was bad, I couldn't gain no weight, man. Couldn't gain no weight, no matter how much I tried. So now that my health is doing really well, you know what I mean, and I got these additional pounds, you know what I mean, some people might be upset being a little overweight, but me, this is like a huge milestone in terms of, health. Health-wise, this is a huge milestone for me because I never thought that I'd be able to bounce back and look like how I used to look, prior to being diagnosed with my chronic illness. You feel what I'm saying? Uh-huh. He said, nigga, you eat on every live. I actually stopped for a long time. Bro, because I had a homie of mine who got like a big YouTube channel. He was like, yo, man, you got to be more professional, man. You know what I mean? You can't be eating on live, man. Whole time I checked this live, this nigga was eating a whole meal. I'm like, man, I'm not really. And I stopped for a while just off of the strength of his advice. But then when I seen this nigga eating during the live on one of his channels, I'm like, you ain't practicing what you preaching, brother. You know what I'm saying? So I lost respect for his opinion after that because I'm not going to tell a nigga to do something if I'm not doing it myself. You know what I mean? Like the homie also told me, like, yo, you know what I mean? Try to prevent, try not to wear tank tops while on the live and shit, man. Like put a shirt on, you know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? So I listen, bro. Look, I'm all good for, positive and negative critiques. You know what I mean? Whatever helped me get me up there and get me better in the content, creation, the content creator space, then fuck it. It is what it is. If I gotta make some changes, I know I ain't perfect, so it is what it is. We're gonna go ahead and shift the laptop over here. Hold on. Josue Hernandez, what's up, brother? I'm looking forward to meeting you, man. Shout out to everybody that bought tickets for the June 27th fight. I wish Marissa was there. I would love to meet Marissa and her family. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Maybe sometime in the future when Marissa get a little bit older and she could travel on her own, maybe that'll be a possibility. I'm looking forward to meeting Slime. That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? My boy Slime. Not Shakur Keyshawn. You know what I mean? Like, if the money right, we'll fight. If the money right, we'll fight. And then we could go spend that money together. You feel me? Not like it, but that's my brother though. You feel what I'm saying? He said, yo, Mark, you got to pre-record our reactions to the Xander Boots fight after the fight when we link up outside. Absolutely. I want to, bro, I'm recording the whole thing. So I already got my meta glasses in order. You know what I mean? I got the idea. I always been good with editing. People don't even really know that about me. You know what I mean? But I'm good at editing videos. We go check Pivot Boxing Network's old videos. I put them all together myself, the introductions. And you know what I mean? Those videos was getting thousands of views effortlessly. No effort. So, once it's just about the matter of like time for me, man. As long as I have time, I can make some shit happen. And I know how to work this shit. Pause. I know what people like to talk about. I know what people try to steer away from. I know what's capable of going viral. I know what's not so much capable of going viral. Like, for example, I know this live ain't gonna do no crazy views. You know why? Because the reality is they like to see Alycia Baumgardner shake her ass. They like to see Claressa Shields show ass at weigh-ins and shit. They don't really give a fuck about, the drama that's going on between them. If they ain't shaking ass, they don't care. It sounds fucked up. It sounds very misogynistic, sexist, whatever you want to call it, but that's the reality. You don't see many channels really talking too much about these female fighters outside of their looks. You know what I'm saying? Now, what might get some attention during this video is the whole Xander Zayas school and Jaron Ennis segment. They like, oh shit, hold on, Mark switched up. Never. I would never switch up on Jaron Ennis. He could go up against anybody of this era, and I'm going to pick him every time. That's just my guy. I fuck with Jaron Ennis. But I want to tap in more into what Chris Algieri has said. And Chris Algieri has been, I'm going to say, I think he's been a tough critic of Jaron Ennis. Just hearing the things that he said in the past, like in regards to the Jaron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz negotiations, I clearly remember him saying that if that fight falls through, it's going to be Jaron Ennis' fault. Even though Virgil Ortiz and Oscar De La Hoya were at odds, you know what I mean? And they go into court somehow, some way. And Chris Algieri's mind, at least at that point in time, he felt like this will all fall on Jaron Ennis, that it was his fault, as if it's his fault that a promoter and his fighter and a fighter are beefing with each other. And now they got all types of legal issues going on, hundreds of thousands of dollars in lawyer fees being spent. Like somehow that's Jaron Ennis' fault. But whatever, it is what it is. You know what I mean? My boy Tricks in the building said Chris Algieri is cooler with Ortiz than Boots because Chris trained with Robert. I did not know that. I thought Chris Algieri was based out of New York. Chris Algieri trained with Robert Garcia. Oh, wow. That's dope. I did not know that. But that was 2012. That was a long time ago. I was in 8th grade. I was graduating 8th grade in 2012. But yo, shout out to Tricks for keeping me informed, man. I love learning new shit. Yeah, I mean, you ain't gonna figure it all out. You know I mean, I'm sure y'all learn a lot from me as well. So it is what it is. Shout out to my boy Tricks for informing me on that. But that makes a whole lot of sense. I guess that's one way to look at it. But what I said all of that to say. I said all of that to say that I feel like Chris Algieri in the past has been a little bit of a tough critic for Jaron, and it's not necessarily call him a hater, because to be honest, I don't watch him enough to label him as one. Like Tim Bradley, I've seen enough to know that he's a flip-flopper, to know that he's a sellout, to know that he'll do whatever, the higher-ups tell him as long as they cut him a check. Him and Max Kellerman are no different. So, you know what I mean? I'm not going to put Chris Algieri in that space just yet. But I'm going to go ahead and share this video. I guess this was an interview that was being conducted by Inside Boxing Live. You know what I mean? So shout out to him for putting this together, or at least getting Chris Algieri to do an interview with him. And this is what Chris Algieri had to say. So we're going to go ahead and listen.
A very calculated move. I think it's a smart move.
The video is about a minute long. So we're going to hear what Chris Algieri has to say.
A very calculated move. I think it's a smart move. I really do. Because not only is this a huge opportunity and a huge fight, he can win. That's the craziest thing. I'm talking to people and they're like, I think Boots is too confident. I think Boots thinks he's going to walk over this kid. I'm like, stylistically, it's a really tough fight for Boots. I've never seen Boots really close the distance on a guy who can move and is going to punch. Because if he sits there and fights the way that he did against Karen Chukatsian in the first fight, he loses. If he fights in the same way he did in the Karen Chukatsian fight, second fight, he loses. You can't just walk in the front door. Who was the Armenian fighter that he fought? That Terrence Crawford KO.
He's talking about David Evanesian.
Evanesian, exactly. You fight that fight with Xander, you lose. You can't fight that way. You've got to show me things you haven't shown. I've heard you can do it in the gym. I've heard all that. That's all great. You got to do it on Fight Night. You got to do it under those lights. Because if you don't, Xander Zayas is going to box his shoes off and he's going to win that fight. But
now, listen, I respect Chris Algieri's opinion. Former world champion, done fought top caliber guys, Amir Khan, Manny Pacquiao. Like, Chris Algieri's been around the block, Errol Spence. He knows boxing. So I would never really take that away from him. However, I wanted to follow up, and I don't know if dude follows up with this question, but what I would ask Chris Algieri is, in regard to Boots, I think he said something along the lines of Boots hasn't showed. Let me rewind that real quick.
Do it on Fight Night. You got to do it under those lights. Because if you don't, haven't shown that way, you've got to show me things you haven't shown.
You have to show me things that you haven't shown. Now, has Boots dug deep into his bag of tricks in his career? No. However, I think thus far in Boots' career, he has shown us that he can approach fights in multiple ways. You know what I'm saying? I've seen Boots have fights where he sat in the pocket and banged with dudes and had success, like Sergey Limpinets. I've seen him be disciplined in fights like the Romain Villa fight, which in my opinion was his most disciplined fight to date, especially with that great jab that he's used. I've seen him even in spots with the Romain Villa fight. I've seen him on the back foot. I've seen him going forward. I've seen him box, at mid. I've seen him countering and shooting from mid-range. I've seen him. So I would ask Chris Algieri, what in his career do you feel like he hasn't shown yet? Like, what is it specifically that he hasn't shown yet? I think that would have been a great question to follow up with, and then we would have got a deeper insight on what Chris Algieri's talking about. But regardless, I respect his opinion. I do think that Xander Zayas can be a difficult fight. But to say that, I do think it's a bit unfair to say that Boots hasn't shown you enough to give you the reassurance that he could beat Xander Zayas. Because that's basically what you're saying when you're saying that Boots has to do something that he's never done before in order to defeat Xander, which based off of that, you can make the educated guess that Algieri feels like Boots thus far has shown limited things or shown to be limited. So that's very interesting. Let me see what else he says outside of this.
I've heard you can do it in the gym. I've heard all that. That's all great. You got to do it on Fight Night. You got to do it under those lights. Because if you don't, Xander Zayas is going to box his shoes off and he's going to win that fight. But
I agree. I thought there was a lot
so a lot of people in gyms are saying that maybe Boots is being a little too confident.
Now, listen, I disagree with the whole notion that Boots is overly confident going into this fight. And one of the reasons why I say that is when you listen to these interviews that Boots is doing, he's giving Xander his props. And has even said that Xander Zayas is better than, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he just said that Xander's more, like he's more skilled, that he's more skilled than a Virgil Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? Like he looks at Xander Zayas as somebody that's either on the level of a Virgil Ortiz or even better. And he just says that he feels like he's better. I don't think that's somebody that's overly confident. I think it's somebody that's confident, but not overly confident. Overly confident will be like, yo, like Boots say some shit like, man, Xander, like he trash. You know what I mean? Like ain't nothing that he could really, you know what I mean? Ain't nothing that he really good at. Like he a scrub. Like I don't hear Boots saying that. You know what I'm saying? I actually hear Boots be pretty respectful to guys in terms of what he feels like they bring to the table. He'd be like, yo, like you're a good fighter, but I'm on a different level. There's nothing wrong with saying that. You know what I'm saying? Because I've heard fighters say this in the past and be respectful at the same time. Like I remember Canelo Alvarez, he'd be like, yo, like you're a great fighter, but I'm gonna show you that there's levels. That's basically what Jaron Ennis is getting at as well. But for some reason, a lot of these media outlets and these boxing fans overall don't really take too kindly to him saying that. And I'm trying to figure out why, because I've heard Vasyl Lomachenko say that there's like I've heard him say in the past, like with Gervonta Davis, he was like, oh, like, you know, he don't call me out because he knows. You know what I'm saying? Like that could be perceived as somebody who thinks they're, you know, above a certain fighter, or feels like, you know, things like that. Like they feel like he's on a different level and shit like that. I never heard nobody find any type of, you know, problems with Vasyl Lomachenko saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never heard people say these types of things about fighters who aren't Black American boxers. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think that whenever Black American boxers say these types of things, all of a sudden media outlets go ahead and go out of their way to say that, you know, guys are, you know, underestimating their opponents. Not necessarily. Not necessarily, man. Like I remember when Devin Haney was, you know, he was talking crazy about Brian Norman. He's like, yo, like he's a bum. You know what I'm saying? Now you could look at that as somebody, you know, underestimating somebody, but the way that Devin Haney was working and preparing for that fight, you can't tell me that he's underestimating. He underestimated Brian Norman. Like he said some wild shit. He was talking crazy, but you know, there may be people who just may say some disrespectful shit to an opponent just to try to get in their head and shit like that. And the Haneys are known for their psychological games, specifically Bill Haney. But whatever. Do I think Chris Algieri has some valid points? Yes. I love how people bring up, and this is another point that I just keep hearing, and it's just played out at this point, to be honest with you, man. Did he have the best performance against Karen Chukazan? No, he didn't have the best performances that we believe Boots could perform to. However, people keep citing these fights as if this was like a controversial fight, that there was no clear winner, that it was just a very close, competitive, you know, tit for tat type of fight. That's not what it was. Now, I like genuinely, if there was a fan that didn't see that fight and they just heard what all of the media said, you would damn near think in your mind that Karen and Boots had a close fight, when that was never the reality. The first fight was literally a shutout. 120-108. The second fight, I think they only gave Karen 2 rounds. I could go ahead and check that. You know, it's a simple box rec search, and we could just look at the scorecards that they have on there. And when you look at that second, one judge gave Karen no rounds. Actually, it was a 107, so he got worse than a 108. Then with another judge, hold on, I think one judge gave Karen like 3 rounds, and then Steve Weisfeld had it scored 116. What? This is a confusing scorecard, to be honest with you. 116. So I guess he had a score of 110. So I guess he gave 116, 110. That's like 8 rounds to 4, but with the knockdown is less. Listen, I don't know, but 4 rounds is a bit generous from Steve Weisfeld. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of crazy. But even when you go back to the first Karen fight, it was 120, 108 across all the scorecards. How is that going to show you that, like, oh, that's a recipe to defeat Boots? Bro, Boots won the fight effortlessly. You know what I'm saying? But I guess since Boots didn't get the knockout and, somebody was actually, making it through these rounds without getting knocked down, hurt, whatever the case is, all of a sudden that's a recipe for defeating Jaron Ennis. Not necessarily. If anything, that fight showed that when you're mobile and you're not, taking chances, you're prone to getting beat round by round by Boots. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, man. I respect Chris Algieri's opinion. And he's a pretty solid commentator. And I think that's just him having that mentality that he once had while he was a professional fighter, with the idea of not underestimating your opponents. I think that he's, especially in his career, he's looked at guys and be like, oh, okay, they do this well. I got to make sure I'm really prepared for these type of guys. It's a healthy mindset to have. And I guess it's transitioned over to his commentary side, his media side. Nothing wrong with that. I just wonder, like, if guys really took the time to watch Boots. Because I really feel like a lot of people, when they see Boots, they get caught up into, like, his showmanship, his flashiness, his athleticism. I don't think they're really taking the time to really dissect Jaron Ennis' game. Mind you, Boots doesn't have the deepest resume, so I could see why a lot of people aren't completely sold on him yet. I get it, but there's been plenty of fights where Boots has shown you versatility. You know what I'm saying? I think he's shown you that he could do a lot of things in the ring very well. But, it is what it is, man. Do I personally believe Xander Zayas is going to school Jaron Ennis or beat him? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? I think this is a fight that Boots understands the magnitude of. I think he understands how high the stakes are at this point in time. He knows that this is most likely going to be a sold-out crowd at the Barclays. It's going to be a shit ton of Ricans, a shit ton of Philly Ricans, a shit ton of, of course, his people. You know what I mean? We're going to be out there, really, and there's going to be casual and hardcore boxer fans from all throughout the country, or possibly the world, that's going to come through and see a show. And I don't think Boots is going to play with this one. I think he's going to really he said that he's going to do whatever he going to do whatever he want in the fight. Now, what that means, only Boots knows. But I'm going to take that as, Boots is going to give us a hell of a show. He said he's going to show out. He said that he's going to have fun. So expect a little bit of showmanship. But I expect Boots to also be very disciplined in this fight and take Xander Zayas very serious. I think Boots would be an absolute fool if he didn't. If he just came in here and thought, oh, well, Xander a kid, you know what I'm saying? I don't really got to go all in for him. He's going to be in for a hell of a – he's going to have a rude awakening. And I know Boots isn't cut like that, but I'm just speaking hypothetically. But I'm seeing Xander Zayas in his gym training his ass off, conditioning himself for war. You know what I mean? I see these high, intense workouts that he's doing with the medicine ball, the battle, the what they call them, the battle ropes. He's doing a lot of leg workouts. He's conditioning his legs very well, too. So he's going to be ready to use them motherfuckers, man. You know what I mean? He's building up his strength, his explosiveness with he's doing a lot of explosive drills. And on top of that, he's working his legs out. You know what I mean? Squatting. He doing like lunges he's doing like squats, but like he's mixing lunges in there. And, he's really emphasizing like heavy leg training. So he's going to be in a hell of he's going to be in hella shape, man. Like Xander's conditioning is going to be phenomenal if he continues to train how the way he does, how the way he's been showing that he's been training in the gym, man. So, Boots, I'm sure his strength and conditioning coach, I think his name is like Coach Altaf or something like that. I could be wrong. Hell of a strength and conditioning coach. He worked with Boots' brothers, during their careers and stuff like that. They're keeping it in the family. Beautiful thing. So I'm sure he's going to be more than ready for the opportunity as well. And we're going to get a hell of a fight, man. But I'm not going to label Chris Algieri as a hater. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those Jaron Ennis fans that's going to be, how dare you say, bro, everybody's entitled to their opinion. You feel what I'm saying? What I really don't like, and I spoke about in one of the videos I uploaded, last week, I don't really like the whole thing where, we trying to disrespect, one fighter to go ahead and root for the other one. You don't have to do that, man. Like, that was cool during the Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather era, man. You know what I mean? Where niggas was playing, when niggas was talking shit about Floyd and motherfuckers was talking about Pacquiao. Look, man, it's cool. If you want to pick a side, that's more than fine. But we have to we have to salute both of these guys for coming together to make this happen. Because they didn't have to. Boots could have took that other tune-up that motherfuckers was talking about. Xander could have went and fought somebody within one of his 2 belts sanctioning bodies and just did a voluntary defense. He could have did whatever he wanted to do. They chose to fight each other. We got to salute them for that. You know what I mean? Trick said Thomas Lamana has a 90-10 for Boots. Well, listen, Thomas Lamana has a direct experience with Jaron Ennis. They've sparred a shit ton of rounds. He's been around him for years. He's known Boots for years. He from out Jersey. He come to Philly religiously. I mean, he's retired now, but during his career, you know, he's had a Philly trainer. Like, he's been around. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the reason why he's so sure about Boots is because he's been around him. He knows what he's capable of. The real question is, can Boots make it look like a 90-10 fight? Because Lamana might see it that way. He's been around Boots for years. 90-10, that's his opinion. I think that's some underestimating on Thomas Lamana's part. Or maybe he's just that sure of Boots. Regardless, he can have whatever opinion it wants. Whatever opinion he wants. On June 27th at the Barclays Center, is Boots going to make this look like a 90-10 fight? Because if he does, ooh, that's going to be a hell of a statement. Because I do think of Xander Zayas that highly. You know what I mean? My boy Jay Cash in the building. He said, they're the reason I'm coming to New York. You know it's lit when I'm flying across the country for it. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I mean? I just hope they both have hella training camps. Let's keep it real. No fighter comes into the ring 100%. I know that from the little bit of experience that I've had. But I hope that they're both healthy enough and as close to 100% as possible. The healthier they are, the better shape they're in, the greater fight we're going to get. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, we're going to keep talking about this fight all the way up until June 27th. And, you know what I mean? We're going to keep pushing. This fight is pushing the boxing culture forward, so we need to keep talking about it because everybody else moving forward has to follow suit. They have to continue making the sport great. So, let's transition on to the female side of boxing, man. I wanted to speak about this because I ain't going to lie, man. Like, I'm a fan of female boxing. I've been trying to get Tam to Bolt on my channel for I don't know how long, man. Like, at this point, I don't necessarily feel disrespected, but goddamn, bro, like, I've literally done everything in my power to get an interview with Tam to Bolt. Because I truly feel like she's going to be the future of women's boxing. I think there's a lot of female boxers that she beats today. But I've been trying to get an interview where I'm DMing her. I'm commenting on her page. Photos, all of that, bro. And she was supposed to fight on that card this weekend on Alycia Baumgardner's undercard, but you know her opponent had visa issues, from what I understand. So, you know, she's still in the city. You know, she's still, you know, there. She did a little media workout or whatever. She seems positive. Seems like she's in good spirits. Seems like she's happy with her situation, which is a beautiful thing. I'm for whatever fighters are for. At the end of the day, if they're happy with their situation, then, you know, I support it 1,000%. But goddamn, bro, I've been trying to get an interview with her for a minute, and I cannot get an interview with her. Why is it so hard to get interviews with these people, especially when they're coming up? Like, you don't have that many people DMing you. So there's no way that you don't see my DMs unless you just don't be on the page and you just be like on a spam account or something or a personal account. I don't know what I got to do to get Tampa Bolt's attention. I've been bigging her up since the very first time that I've seen her. I've been praising her because I really love her skill set. I love what she brings to the table. Tall, rangy, very accurate, fun, technically sound, understands her range very well, always catches her opponents on the end of her punches, gets knockouts, great finishing ability. Like, she looks very promising. You know what I mean? So that's a little side note, man. If anybody knows Tampa Bolt or any way to get in contact with her, let her know that Mazuma TV is trying to big her name up, man. I want to get her name out here because I genuinely feel like she's going to be the future of the sport. She stays focused. I mean, and on the female side, of course. If she stays focused, you know what I'm saying? She has a great team around her that could continue to build her up. She'll definitely be a world champion. Definitely be a world champion. But, we'll see in due time. Let's transition on to Claressa Shields and Alycia Baumgardner, man. These girls cannot seem to shut the fuck up when it comes to talking about each other. Of course, Alycia Baumgardner has a fight coming up against Bo Ray Mishin or some shit like that, man. She's fighting a girl that Caroline Dubois had beat previously. She's giving her an opportunity for her undisputed titles at 130 pounds. It's going down. And Alycia Baumgardner has been doing a lot of press. She's been doing interviews and, she's doing her little photo shoot. She's shaking ass. She got all the thirsty niggas going crazy on the gram. Like, oh, my God, the way that I will put her through the mattress. Oh, my God. Praise Alycia Baumgardner. Oh, my God, man. She the baddest girl in the game. She got all these niggas going crazy. Probably won't even watch her fights, but they're going to show that video of her shaking her ass in that photo shoot a million times. That's going to be enough for people to, save that to their gallery or whatever the case is. But one thing that's been going on is that, Ariel Helwani, stirring up the pot as he usually does, as media, asked her about Claressa Shields from what I understand. And this was Alycia Baumgardner's response to Claressa Shields. So let's go ahead and get into this. This is a 2-minute video. So look like Alycia in shape. Look at them deltoids. Arms look a lot smaller than what they used to. She ain't moved down in weight or nothing like that, but she still looks to be in phenomenal shape. She always had an athletic build, to be fair, but she looks significantly smaller than what she does in the past. Coincidence? I think not. But anyways, let's proceed.
There seems to be a little bit of buzz surrounding her versus Michaela. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts on that? You know Michaela quite well?
Yeah, I do. I actually heard about that. Honestly, my opinion is Michaela Mayer would beat Claressa Shields.
Wow.
Yes.
Does the weight...
Now, of course, Alycia is entitled to her opinion. She's faced Michaela Mayer in the past, had a really close fight where she was able to edge it out. She feels like Michaela Mayer, who I believe is at 154 pounds right now. I could be wrong. Let me see. Let me check where Michaela Mayer is right now. I think she's a champion at 154, and that was a bit unexpected for me, to be honest, because I always thought like she was a smaller woman. Let me see where she at. Yeah, she's at 154 pounds. So she's won world titles in how many divisions? She won at 130. You know what I'm saying? Then she went to 130. Oh, no, she like skipped 140. Like, she skipped that division overall. Went to 47, beat Sandy Ryan twice. Now she's at 54, and she was able to unify the division. Impressive. So I'm assuming she feels like, I'm not assuming. She definitively said that she feels like Michaela Mayer will beat Claressa Shields. Now, me personally, out her motherfucking mind. You know what I mean? Like, Michaela Mayer is good, solid skill set, solid female fighter, and definitely one of the best female fighters in the sport of boxing today. However, Claressa Shields is on a different level than Michaela Mayer. Let's keep it 1,000. The size advantage will be absolutely crazy. Claressa Shields' work rate, her hand speed, her combination punching, That's gonna be too much for Michaela Mayer. And to be real, she ain't no real 154-pounder, man. She literally skipped 47. She wasn't even fully acclimated to 47. Went up to 54 and became unified against a girl who was with 10 wins and 2 losses, man. Like, seriously. And she smoked her. She fried her according to these scorecards. She won 10 rounds to nothing. Then the other ones was 8 rounds to 2. You know what I mean? And they were both vacant titles. So it wasn't like she beat a legit world champion at 54 anyway. So the fact that Alycia Baumgardner is out here saying that Michaela Mayer would beat Claressa Shields, I think she out her rabbit ass mind. I think that this is just an example of, Alycia Baumgardner being petty. I think Alycia Baumgardner is rooting for Michaela Mayer because, for one, she beat Michaela Mayer, and then 2, she don't really fuck with Michaela Mayer, but she doesn't like Claressa Shields even more from my observation. So she went ahead and she picked Michaela Mayer over Claressa. I think she's out her motherfucking mind. You know what I mean? Like, Shields will wipe the floor with Michaela Mayer, in my eyes. You know what I mean? But that's Alicia's opinion. I think it's a bit petty. I think it's a bit biased. You know what I mean? But it is what it is.
Matter?
I never would say weight matters.
Okay.
I think skills matter.
You think she is more skillful than Claressa?
Absolutely. Skills matter.
You think she is more skillful than Claressa? Does the weight matter?
I never would say weight matters.
Okay.
I think skills matter.
You feel like weight doesn't matter, which is why you called out Claressa Shields at 147 in the past, right? Weight doesn't matter, skill matters. Yet, when Caroline Dubois, who's a unified champion at 135, is calling you out, all of a sudden it's all about the weight. You see what I'm saying? You see what I mean? Y'all see the contradiction right there? So when Caroline Dubois is calling y'all, you saying, 135 isn't even in my weight class. Oh, I'm an undisputed champion at 130. Why are you worried about me? Why don't you worry about the other people in your weight class? So when a unified champion is calling you out the Rumble, that's a weight class above you, all of a sudden you want to talk about weight. But then in other situations, when it comes to Michaela Mayer and Claressa Shields, all of a sudden it's not about weight. It's about skill set. Come on, man. Like, this shit not adding up. Yes, J Cash. That's what it's looking like. Look like she got SSD. And for those of y'all who don't know, that is a term that was made here on Mazuma TV. And it's simple. It's selective smoke disorder. That's what it sounds like to me, man. It seems like she initially looked like she was in the mild stages of this, but slowly but surely, I think it's progressing to be severe. And you know what I'm saying? That's what it's looking like to me. So this is what makes me feel like she hating on Claressa more than anything, because you talking about Claressa. So what you saying, that Michaela Mayer more skilled than Claressa Shields? I don't think that's the case at all. What has Michaela Mayer done to show you that she's more skilled than Claressa? What has Michaela done to show that she's more skilled than Claressa? So she got 2 Olympic gold medals. Is she a 3-time? How many divisions? 3-4-time undisputed? Come on, man. Undefeated. Why they ain't have a close fight like you did on Michaela Mayer? We gonna get to that. Let me bite my tongue. You know what I mean? Let me bite my tongue. But she said right here that weight doesn't matter, skills matters, but when it comes to Caroline Dubois, weight matters. Very interesting. Let's proceed.
Think she is more skillful than Claressa?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
Claressa, arguably pound for pound number one.
Baby, that's the list we was just talking about.
I know. Okay,
that's the list we was talking about.
But the resume does back it up, right?
The resume backs it up. And come on, we have to talk about the skill set.
Okay, tell me. Why do you think so?
We got to talk about the skill set. We have to talk about the grit. We have to talk about the experience when we talk about a fighter, right? Michaela Mayer, when her and I fought in London, amazing fight.
Incredible.
Let me put this out there. We sold that show. Mm-hmm. Nobody was tuning in for Claressa Shields and Savannah Marshall. It was
that's cap. What is she talking about? I remember specifically being interested I remember specifically being interested because Savannah Marshall was a big ass white girl. Claressa Shields, I think Claressa Shields lost to Savannah Marshall in the amateurs. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But I remember that being like the whole build up to the fight. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and check this. Hold on. Yeah, Marshall defeated her as an amateur a decade ago in a fight Shields believes she won. So there was a whole rollout about that. So you got Savannah Marshall. I think she was undefeated and all that. You know what I'm saying? She was doing MMA just like Claressa Shields. Like she was just out here rumbling bitches. You know, building her name up. She was big. She was strong. She put a lot of pressure. I ain't gonna lie. Like she really pushed Claressa Shields to the limit in that fight too. Like she was really the size advantage that she had over Claressa definitely gave Claressa some problems in spots, but Claressa showed grit, she showed determination, she showed skill, she showed IQ. You know what I mean? She showed speed. Like she showed a lot of things that Alycia Baumgardner was just talking about. So to say that her and Michaela Mayer sold that shit out, and as far as I'm concerned, you know, Savannah Marshall is from the UK, right? And I'm pretty sure Claressa Shields fought Savannah Marshall in the UK. So who the fuck? And you're nobody in the UK. Like you're fucking from what I understand, you're from Ohio. So Michaela Mayer is from the US as well. So two US girls that fought in the UK sold more than a fellow UK fighter that's going up against a pound for pound #1 fighter in the world. Cut it the fuck out. Who told you that? Who be see? This be the shit that I be telling. That's why I be telling y'all. Y'all be gassing these women up to be feeling like they on this pedestal that they not really on, man. Like seriously, man. Y'all was a great co-main event. We was excited to see y'all fight, but y'all not the reason why. What was it? Where they fought at? I think they fought at the O2 or some shit. Y'all not the reason why the O2 sold what it sold. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Shit don't even make sense. It really don't. So I don't know where the fuck she got that information from. That's completely false. We was excited to see Claressa Shields fight a girl because Claressa was dominating this whole time. Yeah, Jaron won a bet. Ennis says many people said Savannah was going to beat her. I remember that. I was there. I was excited for the fight because Claressa Shields just dominated her whole amateur career. 2 gold medals. Like she ain't faced no adversity, but she about to fight the one girl in her career that had actually beat her in the amateurs. It was a decade ago at that point, but beat her. So it was like, oh, she's undefeated. She's upcoming. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she could do. And I think Savannah Marshall had like a high knockout ratio too. She was doing damage. I remember at one point in time she was signed with Floyd. Like a lot of people was putting a lot of stock into this woman. So it was like, oh shit, this may be the woman that gives Claressa problems. We was tuned in off of the strength of that. Justice says that the card Baumgardner stopped Harper. No, no. That was when she fought Michaela Mayer, and it was a close competitive fight that they edged out the Alycia Baumgardner. You know what I'm saying? That was what she was talking about. She claims that her and Michaela Mayer is the reason why that place sold what it sold. Y'all contributed to it, absolutely, but y'all are not the reason. That's absolutely insane and quite delusional, in my opinion. So let's proceed.
Alycia Baumgardner and Michaela Mayer. That sold that show at the O2 Arena. And I beat Michaela, moved on, became undisputed. She also moved on and became another world champion in another weight class. I have to give her credit to that. I have to give her credit on bouncing back from a loss because I've took a loss early in my career. So I know where her mindset is when it comes to losing. Losing could be everything. And then coming back and becoming a world champion and pivoting differently in your career. So I know that it has to do something to character change. Claressa thinks she's the best in the world. She truly believes that.
She is. The fuck? It's like, who the fuck is proving her wrong? Look at her accolades. Who the fuck can say that she's not the best? They got a lot of people got Katie Taylor. Well, some media outlets have Katie Taylor #1 pound for pound, and Katie Taylor can rumble. She's definitely the good. But Claressa is better than her in my opinion. Like from an accomplishment standpoint, she has every right to say that she's the best. You don't. Let's keep it real. And in female boxing, it's very easy to fight for a world title. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say it's easy to become a world champion, but it's easy to be in position to fight for a world title. Like, those sanctioning bodies so desperate to give them fucking belts up to somebody. I've never heard of this. Mikaela Mayer moved up in weight in the WBA and I think the WBC, the WBO and the WBC put up vacant titles at the same time. These niggas collabed together to have Mikaela Mayer fight for them belts. Since when you ever heard of two vacant world titles being put up at the same time for one fight? That's how easy it is to obtain these titles. So, yeah, y'all did some impressive things, but let's not act like if you ain't got a bit of momentum, these sanctioning bodies won't have you fight for their belt. They trying to get some money. The female boxing don't got that much money in it. There's limited fighters that make that much money. So if you make it a couple dollars in female boxing, they're gonna be looking to give you opportunities. That's just the reality. Let's proceed.
I don't think she is. I think she's the most accomplished, but I don't think she's the best.
Okay.
And I believe that Mikaela Mayer has the skills to beat Claressa Shields due to her experience in boxing, her loss, and her character building.
She literally, she's arrogant, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Her head done got mad big off them IG comments and likes and all that and them story replies. She said that part of the reason why, you got to understand why she said that. She smiled after the fact. She funny as shit. That part of the reason why she feels like Mikaela Mayer beat Claressa Shields is because Alycia beat her and that made her a better fighter. Oh, my God. The arrogance is very real. I ain't going to lie.
You feel like Claressa isn't fighting top-tier talent at this point, and that's part of the problem as well when you're not challenging yourself. And she is sort of a victim of the fact that at that weight class up there, there's just not a lot of top talent.
Yes, at that weight class, there isn't. But again, it comes down to a disciplined fighter. How dedicated are you? Get a nutritionist. I ain't seen that girl come to weigh-ins with abs at all. And I don't know if that's AI. So you can't tell me. But I've never seen her come to weigh-ins with abs. I never seen her in tip-top dog shape. And so if you are dedicated on making those fights, come down a weight class, get a nutritionist. It's not hard. Fighters do it all the time.
You know what fighters also do all of the time? Have negative drug tests. Fuck is she talking about? How the fuck you gonna sit here and act like she ain't a... First of all, I'm gonna just say this. Some people's bodies are just different. Claressa Shields, she's obviously a bigger woman. She's she thick. You feel what I'm saying? She got big legs. She got a big butt. I mean, her arms be all big and shit. She just carry weight differently than somebody else would. You know what I'm saying? Like when we look at guys, like when we see like Mexicans weigh in for the most part, their bodies be looking crazy, right? And some people may underestimate them and feel like they aren't in shape because the way their physique looks. However, everybody that knows boxing knows that despite the way that their body looks, they're in tip-top shape. And when I watched that Claressa Shields fight recently with Franchon Cruz-Dezern, the way that she was letting her hands go throughout that fight, she was definitely in tip-top shape, especially from a conditioning standpoint. The way Claressa was letting her hands go, she was in phenomenal shape. If anybody showed to be out of shape in that fight, it was Franchon because she gassed out, early on in the fight, in my opinion. So, to make it seem like everybody's supposed to be built like you is insane, for one. Two, despite you being all cut up and ripped up, Alycia, I've seen you have fatigue problems, throughout your career. I've seen you visibly tired in your last fight. So for you to be so ripped up and so muscular and shit like that, you sure did get fatigued in the ring. I don't really see that too much from Claressa Shields. I seen a little bit of it in that Savannah Marshall fight, but she fought her motherfucking heart out, and she got that goddamn victory. You feel what I'm saying? But for the most part, Claressa always looks like she's in fight shape based off of how the way she performs. David Benavidez is a prime example. Yeah, built crazy. Be looking fat at the weigh-ins. I bet you can't nobody outwork that motherfucker in his division, though. Physique doesn't matter all the time. I mean, according to Alycia Baumgardner, it does, and that's probably why she, partook. And this ain't alleged. This happened. She had PEDs in her system. Maybe she's so caught up in her image and how the way she looks, because they say you feel how you look, right? So if you all ripped up, you're gonna be feeling all confident. You're gonna be feeling all strong. You're gonna feel like, you got the upper hand on competition. So maybe, just maybe, she cares so much about her image that she was willing to take performance enhancement drugs in order to enhance it. So you telling Claressa Shields to get a nutritionist? Like, the audacity of you to tell her, to give her any type of advice on her career. How about you stay clean? How about you hire a fucking anti-doping agency to make sure that, the supplements that you're taking don't have performance enhancement drugs in them? How about that? Like, you can't give any, based off of your past, you cannot afford to give somebody like Claressa Shields advice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't afford to give her any advice. There's no way. You're not qualified. Because for one, you haven't been a clean fighter throughout your career. Two, you gas out visibly in fights. And three, you haven't accomplished what a Claressa has accomplished. So who the fuck are you that, like, nobody asked you for that advice? And for one, you can't give her advice because you're not on her level. Simple and plain. And Claressa got a better resume than you. Straight up and down. So that's basically the video right there, man. I'm going to exit out. And then there was a response from Claressa Shields. And Claressa Shields says, "Try again, bitch." So I guess Clarissa's showing her some abs, because that certainly looks like abs to me. Certainly looks like abs to me. You know what I mean? But like I said, you can see Claressa Shields, her legs. She's a bigger girl, so of course she's not gonna be all ripped up in the bicep area and all that. But clearly she's in enough shape to weigh in at 175 and still have abs. But she says, "Try again, bitch. This all natural, no PEDs needed at 174. Loser ass. And you can't beat me, and Michaela Mary can't neither. Focus on your fight and stop ducking Carolyn Dubois." Goddamn. Super bad John. And I think Claressa Shields went on to, continue. Let me see. Oh, okay. So here's another video.
Names that have, there's only two names that have that pedigree of being on a stage like that. That's Amanda Serrano and that's Katie Taylor. Those are the two names that I want. I've been very vocal when I was once signed with Matchroom, now signing with MVP. I've been very vocal about those fights because I understand what that does for women's sports, what that does for women's boxing and boxing as a whole. When we talk about two high-level women fighters, you need those type of pedigree fights to push for people to see the skill set, because there's only so many women with the skill set like Amanda, like a Katie, like a Alycia. So yes, those are the two fights, a super fight that I want.
Okay. So
look, man, if she gets either one of those fights, I'll fuck with it. But we heard Katie Taylor say that she's going to do one more fight and that's it. Amanda Serrano, 37 years old. In my opinion, she looks like she's on a decline, but could probably still beat Alycia Baumgardner. Now let's hear what Claressa Shields has to say about this. But as a matter of fact, let's finish this off.
So starting with Katie, she has said she has one fight left. She wants to do it in Ireland. Chances of you being that last opponent?
Could be. I think sometimes fighters will say that that's their last fight. I was able to talk to Katie personally. I had a great conversation with her.
Recently?
Yeah, actually. Woman to woman, I'm just like, listen, I respect what you do. I love what you have done. I would love to share the ring with you. And she agreed. She respects my level of skills. She respects who I am as an individual.
I'm gonna keep it real. Alycia. You fight Katie Taylor, she gonna fuck you up, man. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, there's a difference in pedigree, man. Like, you might have had success at 130 and all that, became undisputed and all that. But like I seen your latest performances, man. Like, you don't, like, Alycia got some good, like, she got some sharpness to her. I mean, she got some decent power. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we ain't see her get no knockouts since, she tested positive, but she got some good skills. She got some good athleticism, explosive. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got some good shit, but Katie Taylor bring all that with world level skill. You know what I'm saying? Like, Katie Taylor, she's tough, man. She punches in combination. She counters real well. Like, she's a superb boxer, and I see why she's ranked where she's ranked on the pound for pound list. You know what I'm saying? She's definitely top 2, top 3 in my opinion. Top 2 in my opinion. I don't think she's 1. I think she's 2. But Katie Taylor is really cut from that cloth, unless she just completely had, fallen on the decline. Like the last fight that Katie Taylor had with Amanda Serrano, that version of her right there would wash Alycia Baumgardner, in my opinion. I mean, like, Alycia does have leaky defense. She doesn't have the best conditioning. You know what I'm saying? Like, these type of things, Katie Taylor will exploit and outclass the shit out of Alycia Baumgardner. So that's just my opinion.
The visual, and we know what the sport needs, and she's a gamer, right? She's game on. Then you also have her team, so her team may be speaking for her. But I talked to Katie myself, so she's definitely interested.
Okay. The easiest one, obviously, is Amanda. You're both under the MVP umbrella. Do you think that could happen? Do you think she wants to fight you?
I love that fight.
Yeah,
I love the
everyone
fight
wants to
with
see that fight.
Amanda Serrano, yes. I've been very vocal with Jordan. I've been vocal with Amanda. Again, it's always a respect thing. Would love to share the ring with them. The money has to be there, obviously. And that's a fight we could see in New York City at the Garden as well. And we have the fan base for that.
Do you think she wants it?
I think she wants it.
She's interested in it. You feel that from her?
I would say so. Again, I respect where they are and the money that they've been able to generate. And again, with a fight, a high-level fight between either two women, it has to make sense, and we have to be paid. That's just the bottom line.
I mean, duh. I mean, y'all niggas not fighting for free at a world title level. But let me see. Justin said, you think Serrano could beat Baumgardner right now? Yeah, I think she can. I mean, unless she just completely washed. Amanda has been concerned to me lately because she has been getting hit a lot more than usual. I don't think she should get hit by Alycia Baumgardner that much. I don't think that's something that you want to go through. But if Amanda Serrano's, cracking how she usually cracks, she has better conditioning than Alycia Baumgardner. That's what's keeping me confident and, feeling like Amanda could pull it off. And plus, Amanda rips to that body, man. So Alycia could be cut up all she want. You know what I mean? She could be all abbed out, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? She's going to feel those body shots. She's going to slow down significantly. And if she get hit enough by Amanda Serrano, she can be in a lot of trouble. I have not seen Alycia Baumgardner in there with somebody who has a knockout power like a fucking Amanda Serrano. I haven't seen anybody in there I haven't seen Alycia Baumgardner in there with a power puncher, period. So there's a lot of question marks around that. You know what I'm saying? I've seen Amanda Serrano go up 2 weight divisions and almost knock Katie Taylor cold out on her feet. You know what I'm saying? And you could make an argument that she won those first 2 fights with Katie Taylor. So, I think that this version of Amanda Serrano, she is on a decline, in my opinion. I do think that she's only a few fights away from retiring herself, but I think even if she loses to Baumgardner, she's going to give Baumgardner hell. It's the conditioning, the pressure, you know, the punching power. It's going to give Alycia some problems. That's just what I believe. You know what I mean? I just wish that Amanda had a little bit more head movement. God damn, she stayed right on the center line and just be getting picked off religiously. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I ain't really feeling how the way Amanda Serrano been looking lately. But let's exit out of here. Let's see what Claressa Shields had to say about that. Claressa says, Katie stops her and Alycia knows that her skills, punch output, stamina, and defense are so poor. So basically what I said her stamina and her defense are too poor to even come close to Katie Taylor. That's GWOAT take on it. Okay. And then they start talking about money and all that. I don't really care about that. So let's hear this real quick.
Seemed like I feel like they've signed pretty much every great female boxer under the sun except for 4. At the top of that list is Claressa, who you obviously know quite well. Were you surprised when she was a free agent not that long ago that she didn't end up signing with them? They had talked. It seemed like it was a real thing, and then she ended up, re-signing with Salida and also, having her own kind of group as well with Papoose leading the way with the record label. Were you surprised she didn't sign with them?
Not surprised at all.
Okay, how come?
You said Papoose first.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
I feel like they've signed pretty much every great female boxer.
So she feels like Papoose is the reason why Claressa signed with Win Records. I mean, I think Papoose is definitely a part of Win Records, so she may be telling the truth about that. But I think what it came down to was, according to Claressa in the past, it came down to money. You know what I mean? And they offer her more money. Let me see. She said, well, Alycia Baumgardner, you was just trying to sign with Win Records and get down with us 2 months ago, even offered the fight on the undercards. So we're doing something right over here. And let's not forget, I sold out 18,000. Go have fun in your 4,000 seater, Miss Knockoff Face of Women's Boxing. Let me see. I don't know where else this really goes into. But I had even read something. Let me go ahead and turn this off. I had actually even read something where Alycia Baumgardner stated that she'll never fight on Claressa Shields' undercard. And it's like, you did, though. You did previously. Your biggest win in your career was actually on Claressa Shields' undercard. So I don't know, man. Like, Alycia, I think she's being very like what you call that, like big-headed. Like she's moving very arrogantly. She acts like she being petty, to be honest. She's delusional, in my opinion. Ever since she got popped for PEDs, I always viewed her as being delusional. I think that has continued to be a theme in her career since popping for performance enhancement drugs. You know what I'm saying? And I think these thirsty niggas on the internet, like Justin Jackson, give her that fuel to be delusional. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? If you got enough niggas telling you that you look good and that you can't do no wrong, eventually you're going to start to believe that shit until somebody bring you back down to earth. So we'll see. I wonder if she's still going to be loving the internet when they make her a meme. Because let's say, hypothetically, Katie or Amanda pack her or embarrass her, fuck her up, whatever the case is. I wonder if she's still going to love these niggas after they, make fun of her. Justin said, when Baum beats Amanda, they're going to say she too old. Bro, she 37 years old. Got over 40 professional. She got over 50 professional fights at this point. And she came off of 3 grueling ass fights with Katie Taylor. Like, yeah. I mean, if Baumgardner beats her and she's clean, I have no problem. And that's another thing. This is another thing you got to take into consideration. This girl, Alycia Baumgardner, be fighting 2-minute rounds and be showing fatigue. Amanda only fighting 3-minute rounds now. So let's take that into consideration. She's gonna have to fight 3-minute rounds with Amanda Serrano, who's gonna be coming forward the whole night because Amanda can't box going backwards. Let's keep it real. She's gonna be coming forward the whole time. She's gonna be punching with bad intentions. And Alycia has leaky defense. She's going to get hit. How is she going to respond when somebody punches just as hard, if not harder, than she does? It's interesting. I ain't gonna lie. I would definitely pay to see that. I would pay to see Baumgardner versus Amanda Serrano. If Amanda Serrano was, this was a few years back, I would pick Amanda to stop Alycia Baumgardner. But, mileage has been put on since then. Age has been put on since then. You never know when Father Time going to catch up and get your ass. So, it could go a variety of ways. But I feel like Alycia only wins if Amanda's not herself. Also, I want to add, I'm not thirsty. That's funny. So we spoke about the Xander Zayas and Boots Xander Zayas and Boots take from Chris Algieri. We spoke about Claressa Shields and Baumgardner's drama going back and forth. I also wanted to close out with this, right? Because I feel like this needs to be said. Y'all just need to stop talking about each other. Because at the end of the day, it's not like y'all motherfuckers is getting ready to fight each other. Like, we didn't mind Earl Spence and Bud going back and forth because we knew eventually they was going to fight. We ain't mind Floyd and Pacquiao going at it back and forth because we knew that they was going to fight. Like, we don't mind some trash talk as long as it leads to what we ultimately want to see, right? Claressa Shields is at 175 pounds, y'all. That's the heavyweight division in women's boxing. Alycia Baumgardner is at 130 pounds. You're literally talking about 35, 40, 47, 54, 60. And I don't even know if they got a 68, but let's say 68 and then a 75. We're literally talking about a 7-division difference between the two. Let's knock it the fuck off, y'all. Like Claressa Shields, she talking about she want to have a baby in the next year or so with Pat Poose and all that shit. She in love. She's settling down with this nigga. Like, you think when she had that motherfucking baby, you think that she gonna be rushing to get back down and wait to fight you? Man, Claressa Shields is comfortable at the weight. You know what I'm saying? She'll probably get down to 160 to fight a Shadesha Green or some shit like that. But, to think that she gonna come down to 47, 54, come on, man. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And then at the end of the day, you scared to go up to go fight Caroline Dubois at 135. You want us to believe that you're going to go up to 47 to fight Claressa? Man, get the fuck out of here. Oh, go get a nutritionist. Crazy. Go get you some stamina. Go get you a clean drug test. Fuck is you talking about? Go get Vada. Go get Go get Wada. Get one of them. Because, since we telling motherfuckers what to get or what to do. Yeah. Sounds super dumb. I'll never understand that shit. How dare you give Claressa Shields advice as if she needs it when she's accomplished quadruple what you've accomplished in your career? Let me check something real quick. She literally a 3-time undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes. She did what you did 3 times, Alycia, and you out here popping it like she ain't got no skills or Michaela Mayer more skilled. Get the fuck out of here. If a Michaela Mayer so skilled, tell her to go take her little funky ass up to 75 and go beat Claressa. If she's so good. But did it, why she can't do it? If she's so much better skill-wise. If it ain't about weight and it's about skill, go tell Michaela Mayer, the girl that you beat, to move up to 75 and fight Claressa. I bet you she won't. You know why? Because she understands that it ain't all about skills. And even if it was, I feel like Claressa would beat her any fucking way. So, like I said, I'm going to finish this by saying yo, y'all not gonna fight each other. Leave it the fuck alone, bro. Seriously, like, what the fuck? Like, y'all not gonna sign a contract to fight each other. Y'all not making no money together. What's the point of even going back and forth? Alycia, shut the fuck up, because we knew that you was full of shit as soon as you popped dirty. You could try to ignore that. You probably be telling these media outlets not to ask you nothing about that and shit like that. Because I don't never hear these media outlets asking her about them PED tests. So I'm assuming that before these interviews, she like, don't ask me about that. And they just cut that out altogether. I'd be like, okay, and then ask her the question right off rip. That's what I would have did, but motherfuckers ain't cut like me. So so yeah. You not going, like, you talking about going to 47 for Claressa, you won't go to 35 for Carolyn Dubois, act like you got bigger fish to fry because you got 2 more belts than her. Oh my God. She has 2 more belts than Carolyn Dubois. Oh my God. If you're so great and it's not about weight and it's about skill, why don't you go up to another division and become unified there? Wouldn't that do something great for your career? Oh, I'm worried about 37-year-old Amanda Serrano who's on her way out, and I'm targeting Katie Taylor when she says she's doing 1 more fight in Ireland and then she's retiring. Come on, man. I got really good lawyers. Like, so? The fuck? Like, what the fuck your lawyer gonna tell me? To watch my mouth? I'm gonna tell that nigga eat a dick. That's what I'm gonna tell him to do. Fuck is you talking about? You know what country we in, nigga? Fuck out of here. I ain't never say nothing about Alycia Baumgardner that wasn't true. That wasn't public information. So you ain't about to sue me because I reported some shit that I saw on the media, or I spoke about some shit that was, that actually happened, that factually happened. Alycia Baumgardner be hearing people call her a drug cheat, and she talking about she got good lawyers. Oh, well, good luck trying to build a fucking case, or at least winning a case, when somebody literally spoke on something that was public information. Something that actually happened. We not calling you a drug cheat and you never pop. You did pop. So we got every right to call you that. That's something that you got to live with, because even if you took it unknowingly, you were still negligent and you deserve the consequences of your actions. Negligence is a terrible thing to take part in, because it could win you shit like this. Yeah, as soon as the cameras would have been like, oh, action, I'd have been like, so, Alycia, from what I understand, you don't want me to ask you about this, but I have to put this out there. So what happened with you in those failed drug tests? Swear to God, she'd have walked out there, John, mad than a motherfucker. Why is it that you don't want to be asked these type of questions? Are you running from accountability, or are you just trying to, because you know that people are going to want to ask you this because it happened, right? Like, like, slime on my soul, I would. What the fuck would happen if I did? Shit. I don't know. I ain't somebody who fear consequences, brother. Like, I'm a real man, nigga. Like, I sip Arizona iced tea right out the motherfucking gallon and I go about my day. Who the fuck gonna tell me something? Nobody. The fuck? Fuck I look like, nigga? Oh, you can't ask that question or she won't give you an interview. I got what I needed. Don't give a fuck. I didn't want to interview you anyway. Yeah, I mean. Also, what doping agency actually cleared you of the allegations? Yeah. So what? Man, look, I'll be like, okay, so you're moving past this, and that's fine. But when those labs, tested your blood samples, your urine, whatever the case is, what were they testing for? So, cause let's just do some simple research, right? Yo, the first thing that comes up is Alycia Baumgardner PED. That's hilarious. In July of 2023, she tested positive for the banned steroid misterolone, but was cleared by the WBC of intentionally taking it in early 2024. While placed on probation until July of 2024, she consistently denied wrongdoing, suggesting contamination, and passed subsequent tests. What? She funded her own investigation and pointed to possible contamination. She described the ordeal as a difficult period in a recent emotional interview on Reddit. Okay. So let's look into misterolone. Let's look at the benefits of misterolone and whether this could help somebody like Alycia Baumgardner. Let's see. Benefits. Misterolone is an oral androgen used to treat low testosterone, male infertility, and reduce libido. Oh, yeah. So she was getting hella testosterone in her bloodstream. And if she got increased libido, that means she was a horny ass shorty. Boosting free testosterone levels, reducing estrogenic effects like water retention, and increasing muscle hardness without significant liver toxicity. Damn. So it literally increases testosterone in your system. It reduces estrogen production, which is why she was looking like motherfucking Scott Steiner in the building. So that makes all of the sense in the world. Let me see. So what did Alycia? Let's look into Alycia Baumgardner's self-funded test. Alycia Baumgardner utilized a self-funded independent hair sample test to contest a positive adverse analytical finding for banned substances. All right. Mm-hmm. Trying to figure out exactly what she tested for on the independent test. So she had two different substances in her system. She did a hair sample, and based off of the hair sample, she gave them a hair off her extensions. That's funny. She gave them her cousin hair. It's like, is she taking that hair follicle off right then and there at the lab? Is she turning in a hair sample to give to the lab? Or, I don't know, bro. It's 1,000,001 questions for real. I ain't gonna lie. But whether she took it knowingly or unknowingly, she got to deal with that the rest of her career, man. She said she moved past it, so I mean, what can we say? But I know when Carolyn Dubois was calling her all types of drug cheats and all that shit after her, in her post-fight press conference, I ain't hear her say a motherfucking word. I ain't hear her say a motherfucking word back. And Claressa Shields calling you a drug cheat too. Why you don't get your good lawyers on her? As soon as I said something on Twitter responding to you, all of a sudden you was talking about how good your lawyers are. Cool. We'll get them good lawyers on Claressa. See how that shit work out. Your lawyer gonna look you right in your face like, Claressa, Alycia, I know this is a difficult situation for you, but we do not have a case. We cannot win this. You are, in fact, a drug cheat. Yeah. Increased libido means increased blood flow, which will result in higher stamina. Ain't that something? When she had a conditioning issue consistently throughout her career, she would, and she's so big on image, right? I never seen Claressa with abs. I never seen her with muscles. I never seen her in tip-top shape. Alycia associates abs and muscles into being into tip-top shape, which has been that's been disproven multiple times. So this is somebody who actually cares about her look. So ironically, you get caught with a substance that, increases your testosterone levels, what makes you more ripped and defined and all of that stuff. And, with you having conditioning issues throughout the entire course of your career, because she even had those issues back when we was watching her fight in Philly. Like she's had these problems, right? Ironically, that same PED you took helps you increase your stamina. So I just been finding it funny that these guys be taking these PEDs by mistake or unknowingly, whatever the case is, and what they pop for enhances what their weaknesses are in the ring, or at least improves, or neutralizes those weaknesses they had in their career. So let's say so like Canelo Alvarez, right? When he tests positive for clenbuterol, right? Clenbuterol, from what I understand, helps you cut weight easy. Like it helps you lose weight pretty well, right? And Canelo was struggling with that 155 situation. You know what I'm saying? They say he used to get up real heavy in weight and he'll have like some tough weight cuts and stuff. So I just found it ironic that he tested positive for clenbuterol. And clenbuterol, let me see. Treat respiratory conditions. It's crazy. Enhanced stamina, weight loss. It increases your metabolic rate. Like, when Canelo started moving up in weight, he started having conditioning issues, getting tired in fights. Not only that, you know what I'm saying, getting down to the weight. It just be crazy that these niggas be testing positive for substances that will literally rid the weaknesses that they've been known to have in the ring. So, like, for example, if there's a fighter that, has historically had trouble cutting weight, right? Like they miss weight several times. All of a sudden, they test positive for a substance that's known for helping them get weight off effortlessly. It will make sense as to why they take it. It's like they fit the description of somebody who needs that drug. And I took it unknowingly. I don't know about that, brother. I don't know about that, man. So very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. What? She was looking like the Ultimate Warrior. That's funny. But anyways, man, I'm going to get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love as always. This was a shorter live, but, I got my son asleep. I'm going to go lay down with my son and get this early morning tomorrow started. So I hope you guys appreciate the content. This is Marcus Rosa, a.k.a. Mazuma TV, signing off. Y'all go ahead, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. If you appreciate the content, please be on the lookout for my next live tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or at least around that time. And we're going to be talking about everything else that's going on in the boxing world. Until then, hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful one. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.